Today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're doing a segment that we call You Should Try This. And the Beard is going to say what the You Should Try This is.
Right. Because you're trying it. You've never tried this.
Actually, it's kind of a double whammy. I'm not sure how much I've actually played the guitar, but it's not about the guitar. It's about something else.
But this is... There's episodes. We'll put an episode of this in the cards. And I think we're going to redo another one eventually. I think we're going to do that guitar again, maybe in a little more... Push it a little bit.
All right.
Anyway. What we have today is the Astronomer by Matthews Effects. Matthews Effects is making some crazy pedals, crazy cool pedals that have a lot of functionality packed into, a small pedal. We have a joke between us that I like 3 knobs on the pedal. So you look at this, you go, well, it breaks the 3-knob rule, but it really doesn't. So we'll get to that in a second, why it doesn't break the 3-knob rule, even though it looks like it has 6 knobs on it. Looks like it.
It more than looks like it, but...
It looks like it has 6. But, it's not... if you want something that can do something like the Big Sky or the, some of those pedals that have a million features. Right. So we talk about this all the time. We end up buying pedals that have a million features and we use them for one.
Right.
So I have started looking for, what's the 1 or 2 things I want to do, and what's the pedal that will do that 1 or 2 things really well.
Right.
So, Reverb pedal. Now, I do have in my hand here my computer, because there's no way I'm going to remember all this off the top of my head, and I want to do the pedal justice.
First of all, your name's not Galileo, so that's for starters.
I am not the astronomer. So what we have, without reading, I can give you the breakdown. Basically, this pedal has 2 channels. Each channel has 3 knobs.
Oh, that's how they do it.
Right. So, if you're only using one channel at a time, so you're only really using 3 knobs at a time. The interesting thing is that both sets of knobs are exactly the same.
Okay.
So you have 2 switches and you have 2 sets of 3 knobs, because one switch goes with one set of 3 knobs, the other switch goes with the other. So we have channel 1 up here with that switch right here, and then channel 2 down here with the switch down here too. A very cool thing about this pedal is you have your on-off switch here. So it's on and off. And then this button, which is raised a little bit for ease of pressage, would allow you to kick down to channel 2. So both lights were on channel 2, back to channel 1. I probably will read it in a second, but they give us this little alternate jack here. And there's a couple things you can do with the alternate jack. You can do what I've done and build little DIY. Wait, do it. Your DIY. Said it wrong last time we did that. Project, right? So build a little switch here. That all it does is flip us over to that second. So depending on where you have this on the pedal board, maybe you want to be able to get away from the pedal and just have this little switch. And this couple parts off of online, put it together, solder a couple joints, and bam, you have a $10 switch.
And your wife, being crafty, has a label maker, and you could label the
right.
pedal.
She's crafty, and so borrow wife's label maker, and I don't know which way
there
it
you
needs
go.
to go.
Probably that way. Who knows?
So the other thing you can do, I believe, is plug an expression pedal in, and then the expression pedal takes over one of the knobs, and I can tell you in a minute when I get back to the computer which knob it takes over, and so then you can adjust that on the fly. So I can drop this down on the floor, and then if Pat wants to step on that at some point, he can. It's kind of cool. All right, so you have 3 original Reverb algorithms built into this pedal. They've labeled them Canis Major, Orion, and Ursa Major. Canis Major, this constellation is an echo verb effect designed with droning and swells in mind. The glow knob, so the middle knob on this pedal is the glow knob. The glow knob controls the mix of the shimmer, while the travel knob adjusts the decay of the time of the reverb. Canis Major excels at pads and layering. Orion is the quintessential Hall reverb effect. Select the amount of celestial shimmer using the glow control. So the glow basically brings in the shimmer effect on either channel. Turn down glow delivers a classic Hall reverb, or dime it out for a unique sound that's straight from the heavens. So we refer to this as the angel effect,
yes.
right?
Us and 3 guys at the Nashville Guitar Center.
Right.
Is that the angel pedal? Who was playing the angel pedal? It was me and Brody.
Ursa Major, where Ursa is a chamber reverb effect. Dial in a pre-reverb octave using glow. Turn glow all the way down for a haunting dark reverb. That's great for lead lines. Slowly turn it up to add particles and emulate the sound of the cosmos. So then on the controls you have mass, which is adjust the wet-dry mix using the mass control. All the way up is 100% wet. Glow adjusts the mix of the Shimmer on the Orion and Canis Major effects. Adjust the octave mix on Ursa Major. And then Travel adjusts the decay time of all 3 reverbs. So then they got this unique features here, right? So you have the alternate out jack, which input allows you to bypass the switch remotely. Has an analog dry path signal, so your instrument's dry path goes through, and this is added to that. Expression jack, which I'm a little confused. I guess the alternate can be the expression pedal jack too. I think it can go either way. And then it has a trails or a bypass mode. So, really like functional, right? If you so what I love about this, we can set up. We'll just show that quick. You can set up just a straight ahead reverb. So right now this is on the Ursa Major, which I don't even remember what that means now. And there's no Shimmer effect, so we're just on channel 1, just a reverb.
Yeah.
We could probably show them without the reverb, right? And then we can bump to channel 2, which has the glow turned up, so there's going to be some Shimmer effect in this one. I guess we have to travel up pretty good.
We traveled pretty far on that one.
Right. So, one thing that's really nice about this, I'm going to let Pat play for a second just to get some of the Shimmer effect build up. It does have the bypass the trails mode, so when I turn the pedal off, he can keep playing, but you're going to hear the reverb trail. So, let's just show them that. So that works great. Mm-hmm. I think my one, I hate to like bring up a frustration, right? But I mean, we're just doing this for fun. What do we like? What do we don't like? There's one minor thing I don't like about this pedal that I wish they would change. Do the same thing again, but this time, instead of turning the reverb off, I'm going to switch back to channel 1. So we'll start on channel 2. So you hear that quick cut on the Shimmer. Like it's gone. And so a lot of times when I run this pedal, I'm running it in like a loop switcher. So I'm either turning, the trails don't work, right? Like because I'm turning it off, I'm not turning it off here, I'm turning it off somewhere else. So the trails don't work that way. But a lot of times when I run the pedal, like for certain parts of the songs I'll have on channel 1, no Shimmer, then switch to channel 2 with Shimmer. Everything sounds great, and then I go back to channel 1 and like this bottom falls out of it. Mm-hmm. So I would love to see that trails going between the channels, and maybe that's something they can't do. But that would be a great feature to have on it. Now, I say that, and I say I don't like that about the pedal, but like the pedal's awesome.
It is. That's the first time I played it. It's great.
So that minor thing is not enough to say like, oh, you don't want this pedal because of that. No, this is
Maybe it'll be
great.
the V3, the version 3.
Version 3.
The beard upgrade.
So, where do you want to go? Should we move? Let's stay on channel 1. And let's go through. Right now, I gotta pick it up. Right now we're on Ursa Major, so I'll let him play through that pattern once, and we'll switch over to Orion, and then we'll switch over to Canis Major. We'll bring the what is that? Travel up a little bit. But I think that's probably pretty good, right? We'll leave them where they're at. We'll leave the glow off, so this is just reverb.
Okay.
They all sound really good.
They're all very lush. I mean, they're...
Like, I think you'd almost have to, like, why don't you do...
Something choppy, something jangly.
Right, just maybe a couple, like a big strum and then get out of it so we hear it. The trails, that just kept going. It's still going. Alright, so apparently that one has a really long... Do you want to bring the glow up and go through those 3? I'm going to try and match what... Let's do that. Let's bring the glow up and run through the 3. Was that the one we were kind of settling on was our favorite? Or
Well, that one brought in those like higher octaves that almost sound like a melody line on top of the sus chord that I was playing back and forth.
I think that's one that I had been using. But then earlier we were kind of, I think,
Right.
leaning towards that.
There's so much to that.
Right. So, the Astronomer.
Yeah.
Matthews Effects. Basically, you get two channels. Both channels are exactly the same, but you can set up two different reverbs. You can switch back and forth between the reverbs pretty easily. Each channel has 3 variations of reverb. Each channel can bring in an additional glow effect, which is some kind of shimmer. There's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot going on, and you know, this is a pedal that I think you can get great sounds out of without going to huge reverb.
Right, and it's a normal size pedal, and a lot of times the pedals that have these features are bigger.
Right, and so I've thought about looking at like Source Audio Venturous because I have, or Source Nemesis, Venturous because I have the Nemesis delay.
Mm-hmm.
But I've just been so happy with this for, you know, the times that I use it anyway that I'm not feeling like I need to upgrade.
Yeah, there's a lot to that, and probably more playing with it, maybe adapt what I was playing to the different channels, but just trying to give you a feel for playing the same thing. You can hear the variances in what those the switches do and the knobs.
So, another you should try this. This one actually came home because this one doesn't live here. This one lives on the pedal board. So I had to bring this one home so Pat could test it out and you can see what's going on with that. So if you like that stuff, we have a lot more coming up. And we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel. Those subscriptions give us a little boost, I think, to keep chatting about gear.
Yeah.
If nothing else. So with that, I think...
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you that no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.
I can hear the angels singing.
That's right. That's right. We're traveling.
That's one of them there angel pedals you all have.
How they put the whole galaxy in that box? Now, you didn't say anything about your anus settings. You got one of them in there?